Hey collective, good morning. Happy Monday. What's up, y'all? Y'all ready for a reading? I do have a download. Spirit wants to bring to someone's attention that when we have a duty, when we have a job, an assignment, a purpose, right? We're expected to do that without judgment, without prejudice, right? And most especially not in our personal feelings, right? When we're assigned to do a job, we're to do that job without judgment, right? Our personal feelings should not get involved. Once our personal feelings get involved, then we start trying to do things and take control and call judgment and, where we don't belong. We start doing jobs above our pay grade, right? We start deciding who deserves something and who doesn't deserve something, right? But we forget, come on, Spirit, when it's our turn to be under judgment, right? When it's our turn, right, for God to call judgment in our lives, do we deserve something? All right? How do we treat other people when we were in a power of authority, right? Come on, Spirit. There's some people under judgment because they were put in a position to do for others, to serve others, right, without judgment, outside of their personal feelings. This could be like somebody could be in the medical field, lawyers, those people that take an oath, right, to serve the community. And then they get in their feelings, right, because they don't like somebody. You know what I mean? So therefore they're not going to get the services they deserve because I'm in my feelings, right? I want to be the boss in their life. I want them to be under my control. They'll get it if I give it to them. If I don't give it to them, they can't have it. Man, listen. Or when they feel like they can take something from someone, right? Because they just want it. You know, when they're there to serve others, when they're supposed to be passing out portions and rations, and they decide to put it in their pocket and take it from those that are supposed to be getting it, that are being helped. Instead, they're lining their own pockets. They're getting their wealth out of greed. They're taking from those that are less fortunate, those that they're supposed to serve. You hear me? Come on, Spirit. That's the message this morning. Let's see what happens here. Spirit said the wrath, man. Listen. They find it cute. Now they feel like they're in the power now, right? They got control of the situation, right? You're at their beck and call, right? Remind me of that story in the Bible where King Nebuchadnezzar? I don't know, it was one of them kings, and there was a person that owed money, right? Owed money to the house. Let's call it like that, right? Man begged, listen, king, listen. He was going to go to jail and work it off, but he begged, listen, I'll pay it back. I'll pay it all back. The king said, you know what? Just forget it. Just wipe the whole debt clean. Go ahead, man. You know, that's his grace and mercy, right? Because, does he know this man is less fortunate? He know that he could never pay what he owes in probably this lifetime back then, right? And he said, just let it go. Let's start fresh. Okay, so that way we're all even, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody really suffering, right? But as soon as he left, there was somebody that owed him money, and you know what he did? Grabbed him by his neck, put him up against the wall, and said, look, bum, you better give me what you owe me. Hold, did that get back to Spirit? Did that get back to the king? Right? Oh, I let you go, but here you are. Now you want to take from somebody else. You want to force somebody else into submission to you. Right? What do? Snatched his butt up and put him in jail and made him work it off. See, don't ever think God don't see what you're doing. Especially when you're doing it and you ain't got no business doing it. It's not fair. You're being greedy. You're being envious. You're being jealous. You're going by your own fucking feelings. Excuse my French, y'all. I'm trying to cut that back. Look, fear. You scare people. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Yeah, when we steal and when we take, we're fearful that we ain't gonna have. We're jealous and envious of what somebody else has because we feel we can't do it. We can't get it on our own accord. We don't want to. We're lazy, right? We want some kind of power. We want to be recognized. Come on, Spirit, I'm hearing it. Somebody wants to be recognized. Somebody wants to be seen as somebody in power to those minions around them, yes men. But let me tell you something. You know what they're doing? They're looking at you like, damn, that's going to be a hard-ass fall. That's what they're saying. They're saying, yep, you keep wielding that sword. Those that live by the sword die by the sword. Their own sword. They fall on their own sword. Come on, Spirit. What's this message? Patience. Yep, just be patient. If you feel like you've been bamboozled or you've been, cut out of something or delayed by somebody else's action, Spirit said just be patient. Have no fear. Because, if it's not in integrity, if it's not deserved, then justice will be swift and hard. Spirit, come on here. What's the message? Doubt. Spirit said, don't doubt that they will pay for what they're doing. This is not your fight. This is a test of character. Everything's a test in this world. In the spirit. Everything we do, every choice we make is a test in the spirit. Test of your morals, your values, your character. And it also shows up your traumas, your shortcomings. Yeah. And do that too. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. You ain't got to know nothing. If you have been a victim of anything I just said, don't worry about nothing. Don't fear anything. Stay in that energy of love. Even when people do things to hurt you, to try to trigger you, to try to invoke control over you in some way, shape, or form, right? They're the ones that's acting out of fear because they, for whatever reason, they want to have control. Maybe you bruised somebody's ego. You know what I mean? Maybe you triggered somebody. Maybe you stood up for yourself and they didn't like that. They ain't used to that because, see, they have the power of the pen. Come on, Spirit. Or the click. The button. You feeling me? Yeah, empathy. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. I am open to seeing both sides of the situation. Right. You have to look behind the behavior. You got to look behind the action. You got to recognize when people are trying to put you in submission to them. You got to recognize when people don't like how you stand. You know what I'm saying? Because you stand up straight. Or because, things are coming to you that you should get. It's your rightful inheritance. If you are receiving some kind of assistance, that's because you deserve that assistance. Understand? It ain't because you don't deserve it. What you mean? That's what it's in place for. That's what it's earmarked for. Those that are in need. So who are you to decide who needs it and who don't? If they qualify, it belongs to them. Spirit, what's this message? Spirit is saying we have to be empathetic. We have to recognize the behavior behind the behavior. That's where we have elevated from. We too were in an energy of fear. Impatient. We didn't believe we was going to get what we wanted, so we tried to take shortcuts. We tried to force the process to go in our favor, right? Because someone is getting something, right, that we wanted too. That's when we act out of fear. We want what somebody else has. We feel like somebody don't deserve. How do you know what somebody deserves and what somebody doesn't? It's like clearly they're in the boat. So what you gonna say? Get out the boat and walk and swim? Because what? Because you feel like they're triggering you in somehow, some way? Because that's all it is. Because if you're in a position of helping others, you're not sitting there talking about, oh, you don't look like you deserve this kind of help. Come on here. Get out your way. Look, oh, yeah, you know you're wrong. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. You're not looking at both sides of the story. You're only looking from your point of view and how you want to look. You know what? I'm going to tell you what that spirit is. That's the spirit of insecurity. That's the spirit of having a job in a high position but really not feeling like you're worthy of doing it. Matter of fact, you don't even know how to do it. Come on, listen. But instead of, learning and probably praying and asking for help, you go off your ego. You go off of that street energy. Let's call a spade, right? How you used to act in the street when you wanted to, rah somebody or, stand your ground, your turf, or what have you. And you bring it into these positions, right? Listen, I ain't lying. Self-esteem. That's right. You get in these positions and it's only that, listen, what did I say? What did I say about letting people give you a label, right? Letting the label that people give you be your value and your worth. That's what you standing on, with a label somebody gave you, a label that somebody can take from you. Now you lose that position, then where you're gonna be? You're gonna be right in the line, right? You're gonna be right in the line. Because if you lose it, a lot of things fall to the wayside, right? Now you got to be inconvenienced just as you have inconvenienced others. I promise it's coming. I promise. It's that time. It's karma time. It's return. It's time. It's time. What we put out there, how we treat others, it will come back. When you're up there, listen, do your job. Stop trying to create chaos and confusion in people's lives. Stop abusing your power. Stop creating delays and inconveniences for others. Stop trying to make others work extra hard for something that's already theirs. Because it makes you feel what? Powerful? Yeah, it's making you float right higher and higher. But that drop? Come on now. Spirit, what's this message? And spirits, don't ever doubt God's power. Just stay in your humble position. State your case. Stand up for yourself. 1333, come on, Spirit. Stand up for yourself. As much as you can. And then when you're exhausted, all that you can do, to give it to God. Because He sees everything. He said, don't say nothing else. Come on, Spirit. I don't know who I'm talking. He said, don't say nothing else. I don't know if you've been, complaining or something, but Spirit said, don't say nothing else. All of it's in the courtroom now. It's in the court. It's under judgment now. Spirit, what's this message? What we got here? Ooh, we got happiness. That's right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because you already understand what you have is sufficient. God is sufficient. You will never go without. Come on. I'm aware that being happy means I am on the right path. That's right. Because to be bitter, to be angry, to be resentful, to be jealous, to act out of character, right? That's an act of doubt. That's an act of fear that it's not going to go in your favor. Come on now. That's an act of I can't have it. Why? If it belongs to you, it's yours. Don't worry about the delay. See, everybody's being tested here. Everybody's character is being tested, including yours. Come on, Spirit. What's this message? People feel like these things right here, that it's not seen in the spiritual world. Oh my God, I'm telling you, people feel like these little things, they ain't seen in the spiritual world. I promise you it is. And guess what? And you're going to be, when you wake up, you're going to be awoken to that very fact. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Look, that's where it is. There's the root right there. That's root energy. That's embedded energy. Envy. Envy of what? It's like you have more. You're in the power of helping others, and yet you still envy those that don't have anything. You still get scared. You know what it is? Because those that don't have a lot, they make a lot out of it. They make it look easy because they've always had to make a lot out of a little. And then you see that they have been doing some work in their life, that their self-esteem is up here, right? That they don't feel sorry for themselves because they have to be in the line, but they make do with what they have. They make it work, right? Because they feel good about themselves no matter what they have. And you envy that. You envy that because you're in a power position and your life ain't half as together as theirs. Tell the truth, shame the devil. And you envy it, and you want to create chaos in someone else's life because your life is in chaos. I'm going to tell the truth because that's what it is. Spirit, come on. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Exactly. Everybody ain't got to walk around sad and depressed because they don't have a whole bunch. Everybody's all right. A lot of people are okay right where they are, as long as they got God's grace and mercy and they got peace in their life. And here you are. How can you with nothing be so happy? Let me mess that up for you. How can you with nothing be so at peace with yourself? Right? How come I have more than you and I'm not at peace? Because you're creating chaos in everybody else's. You too busy watching everybody else's pocket instead of doing your job so your blessings can come in. No, Spirit, what's this message? That's that crab in the barrel. Crab in the barrel. Now you're going to see how you have been disturbing and throwing people off their path and creating obstacles for other people. You're about to see that because it's going to happen to you. You're gonna have to be put in those people's shoes because that's the only way you're gonna understand. That's the only way you're gonna understand. Because right now, you've been doing this way too long. Listen, love. When you put in the position to help others, you gotta come from love. You can't come from envy. Somebody's in this could be MB. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Somebody wants to hide that guilt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got indecision here. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. Change. Yeah, love changes. Love changes you. Love changes others. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. What's on the bottom? Forgiveness. Wow. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Hello. Somebody need to change with that imagination that came out here. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Right, we're all born with brilliance, with ideas, but Child, I always say everything's root. Every way we behave, it comes from something that happened to us as a child that made us either have to fight and scrap and crawl and grab at every chance at happiness or whatever we wanted. We always had to fight for it. We always felt like we didn't have enough. I don't know. I can only go by what I know now. You know what I mean? And I know that it's an injustice. We got to be careful how we treat people, how we treat each other. It's like we're like so minute on this huge world, you know what I mean, on this planet. And the best we can do is tear each other down. I mean, that's the best we can do. I don't get it, I really don't. And this is from childhood. I ain't never got that part. I never have, Yeah, balance, yeah. You gotta have balance in your life. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. It says, he that is without sin, throw the first stone. Right? We got to be aware of our behaviors. And we have to understand that the way we treat others, the way we live our lives is a direct reflection of how we feel about ourselves. Not only that, the energy that you put out there, because you allow your pain and your suffering and your shortcomings to spill over and to, use you to create. It's basically you're trying to put it on other people, because that's what it is. You're pouring it onto other people. You're trying to, get it off of you. Basically, that's what I'm saying. It's like trying to get rid of it, but it never goes that way, because there's punishment for that. You got to clean your own yard. You can't throw your trash in other people's yard, you know what I mean? Your feelings, your hurt, your pain, your envy, your jealousy, and you just want to throw it over there on somebody. You can't do that. You want to take something from someone? Why? You'll never prosper that way. You can't prosper by taking other people's seeds, going and digging up other people's seeds and stealing it. You can't. It won't. Listen, child, you don't even understand. Listen, acceptance. Come on now. Accept who you are, where you are, your position in life, right? I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Balance. And what is it that you would change? I know I can't change how other people behave, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I have to have empathy, right? And I have to look at where it's coming, look at the pain behind the actions, yeah, because I learned some stuff. You know what I mean? And get acceptance and return. And I said return it. Damn it! Somebody is coming back. Return spirit. Okay, yeah, return that energy right back to them. And no, thank you. When they try to pour that in your cup, turn that cup down. Say no, thank you. And that is where it's gonna come right back. They ain't got nowhere to go with it because it's coming right back to them. That's where the guilt comes from. When it starts showing up in their life because people won't accept it. They ain't got no choice but to drink it. Because now it's, you feeling me? Anyway, denial. Listen, their denial about the envy. Look at that. Oh, what I got to be jealous of? What I got to be? I heard it. I'm gonna leave the comments on though. Just don't listen. Don't come on here bashing me. Please don't do that. Yeah, grief, relationships, growth. Ooh-wee. Service. Come on now, spirit. Listen. Service. Someone could be grieving relationships. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Okay, so somebody could have people that are, not really dealing with them, don't want to be around them because they got such a negative energy. Somebody could be grieving that. They don't understand. You got to understand. You got to grow. It's time for growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. First of all, start off by how you treating people and why you doing it. Why are you allowing your emotions to, make you make choices that hurt others, that create chaos and blockages in other people's lives, especially if you're in a service field. Right out the gate, I said it was about people that serve others. I feel good when I can help others. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Deuces.